Good afternoon, everybody. It is, 1:30. So I'm going to give a few people just another minute or two to see if we can get everybody else in here, because I'm going to be moving around the shop quite a bit, and I may not be able to spot them coming into the Zoom. So we'll give them just a second here and see if they're going to show up. There's one. There's another one. All right, we're going to get going. I don't know if they're going to show up or not. We'll figure it out. Okay, so we're going to work on the drawer today. Okay, probably get it done. Shouldn't be a problem at all. Let's take a look at where we are on the drawer plans. Okay, if this little thing would go away, it'd be a lot easier. Come on, come on. All right, here we are. So we have done all of that stuff. Oh, got somebody coming in. All right, so we've done all that stuff. Blah, blah, blah. We've cut the drawer parts. We did the rabbits and the dados. Okay, so what I did in the interim was I measured for the drawer bottom. I'll show you guys how we do that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at what we got going on. All right. So, it's Monday. If you guys didn't already know that. Feels like Monday. So the way we measure for our drawer bottom is pretty straightforward. All you have to do, and I already have one magically cut, so not a problem. All you need to do is dry fit this guy together here on the table. Just like this. All right, get it all snug. Then what we do is measure the inside dimensions. Inside of the surface to the inside of the surface. Okay, do the same thing here. Measure this direction, inside to inside. Then we add a ½ inch to both those measurements. Okay, and here's why we add a ½ inch. Because we just measured from here to here, but we have to account for these dados. These dados are a 1/4 inch deep. Okay, so if I've got a 1/4 inch deep dado on this side, 1/4 inch deep dado on that side, 1/4 plus a 1/4 is a ½ inch. That's how much longer and wider our drawer bottom needs to be to fit properly in those dados. There's somebody coming in here. Let me see if I can get them in. Okay, so that's how we measure for the drawer bottom. Now, assembling the drawer. Okay, as before, anytime, I mean anytime, we're getting ready to glue something up or assemble something or nail it or screw it together or whatever the case may be, we always dry fit first. In other words, we always try to do the assembly without glue or nails. So I'm just going to put a little clamp right here. Okay, stand it up. All right, we're going to slide the bottom in. That would be the wrong way. This is the right way. this other guy on here, and there we go. There, dropped right on. Okay, so our drawer fits. Everything looks good. It's square, very nice. Now we can do the assembly. Okay, pretty straightforward. We got some glue. We've got a glue brush. Normally I just spread it with my fingers, but I honestly just didn't feel like getting glue off of one today, so I'm going to use a brush. I'm going to put these together like this. I'm going to get my nail gun ready to go, which it is. Set it over here for now. I'm going to get a little bit of glue all the way along these rabbets. Okay, we do not glue our drawer bottoms in. They float. In fact, I don't think I've ever glued a drawer bottom into a drawer. They just stay floating. And I try not to make a mess, but it doesn't always work. Spread out. There's a couple reasons for spreading it out like this. One, it gets glue all over the rabbit where it needs to be. And two, if you don't spread it out, when you start to assemble this glue just starts dripping. It just starts dripping everywhere, and that's not cool. Just in case you didn't know, it wasn't cool to drip everywhere. Okay, so there's my stuff. Easy part. So all we have to do, we're going to take one of these sides and kind of set it over there. This is the important part. When you put these together, make sure the dados line up. It's not like that. I've seen it done before. Okay, we're just going to take this and put it together. Kind of hold it in place. Shoot 3 nails. Centered on the thickness of this board. Too far this way or too far this way. Right? Shoot your nails too far this way, they're going to come out on the inside. Shoot your nails too far that way, or you shoot them at an angle, they're going to come out the other side. So not cool. We take our other side, set it in place, and we go bing, bang, boom. Now we can stand it up. Get our bottom. Slide it in. Come on. Set the other one on. It's good. And I do have glue all in my hands anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And we're going to get 3. Making sure it's tight in there the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so that is our drawer. It is assembled. If you couldn't tell. But we're still missing something. Something else we have to do. The excess glue off of it. One thing you don't want to do is if you do this right at the end of class and you have to put it away, don't put the drawer inside. Because what happens is glue will drip down and it will glue your drawer to the inside of the cabinet. The only way to get it out is to drill a big hole in the back here behind it and then pop it out with a mallet. Okay, so that would be my tip for the day. Don't glue your drawer into the cabinet. Now, the drawer front. Okay, we measure for the drawer front by measuring the width inside of the face frame to inside of the face frame. So we've got 6 inches there. So I'm just measuring from here to here. Okay. Then the length inside of the face frame to inside of the face frame. Okay, here to here. So I have 6 inches by 13 inches, okay? Now, this is the type of drawer front that's going to sit proud of the opening, okay? What we want is we want this drawer front to overhang about a 1/2 inch all the way around. In other words, we want it to come up about a 1/2 inch, down about a 1/2 inch, over about a 1/2 inch, over about a 1/2 inch. So if this is 6 by 13, we're gonna add 1 inch to the width and the length. So we're gonna make it 7 by 14, and that'll give us that 1/2 inch extra overhang, okay? So following our order of operations in the shop, I've already thicknessed this board. The next step is width and then length, okay? So we're gonna start with the width right now. And that is, first, we go to the joiner. And I think that's the right one. Let's try it. Okay, we go to the joiner. Turn that so I can see the screen. So what I look for when I'm at the joiner is I look down my edges, okay? Look down these edges here. What I want is if I have an edge that's cut in or bowed in, that's the edge I want down in the joiner. If I have an edge that comes out like this, that crowns, okay, I want to try not to use that one, the jointed edge, because if I do, that crown, it's just going to rock as it goes to the joiner. It's not going to do any good. These are pretty good, so I'm just going to make a quick pass on the joiner. By the sound of it, I can pretty much tell that was a good pass. The whole edge has been jointed. So now we're going to go to the table saw to rip to final width. Okay, thickness, then width, then length, every time. All right, so we want this at 7 inches. All right, so we set our fins to 7. Okay, make sure our blade height's right, about 1/4 inch above our material. This is my jointed edge right here. There you go. And the board is ripped to final width. Okay, now we go to the miter saw for cross-cutting to final length. 1, 2, 3, this will be 4, I hope. This thing's got, the remote's got a little number pad on it that reminds me which one. Oh, there's 2 more people waiting to get in. And Jory. Still missing some people. Okay, so we go to the miter saw for length. All right, so we do this without hurting anything. This should be over here. Give me 1 second. I'm kind of wrapped up in a power cord here. All right, there we go. Better. All right, we go for length. Now, we're cutting a board to final accurate length. It will take 2 cuts. The first cut is a trimming and squaring cut. Okay? We're moving just enough material off one end to make sure it's square. Okay, and that's just a tiny bit of material coming off. So now we can measure from that end out to our 14 inches. Make a mark. Give myself a line using the square. Now, since this is a single board that we're cutting to length, we do not have to use a stop. Okay, we're only cutting one board 14 inches long. If we were cutting more than one board 14 inches long, we would have to use a stop. This way, all we gotta do is get it to our line, and there it is. We are to length. All right? So, there's our board. The last thing we need to do to it before mounting it is we need to put a decorative profile all the way around it. Okay, we're going to do that at the router table. We're going to do it the same way we did the top. We're going to use the same bit set at the same height that we did for the top. So it matches. Okay, so the only decisions you have to make over here are which surface is the one you're going to see. Let me move this out of the way. I can't see it. Which surface is going to be the one you want to see? Okay, so there's a split along the back side of this, so I'm going to make this one the surface I want to see. Okay, we always route in grain first. And you guys can see the direction of the grain in this board. That tells you that this is in grain and this is in grain down here. Okay, this is edge grain that goes with the grain. Okay, face grain, edge grain, in grain, in grain. Okay. We always route in grain first so that when the bit exits, if it decides to take a little chunk out, oftentimes when we make that pass along the edge, it'll clean that up. Okay. Another thing, we always use push pads every single time. And we always move from right to left, never from left to right. We want to go against the rotation of the bit, not with it. So here we go. There's our decorative edge. Just like the top. Okay? Piece of cake. All right, so we've got our drawer front. Back to the cabinet. Oh, there's somebody else trying to get in. All right. So we're ready to mount the drawer front. It's pretty straightforward. Okay. What I want is for this drawer front to be centered properly vertically, and I want it to be centered horizontally. Okay, so all we're going to do, we're going to slide the drawer in. I want to center it in the opening. I don't want it shifted to one side or the other, so I want about the same gap here as over here. I'm going to take the drawer, I'm going to set it how I want, whether it's this way or this way. It's all about personal preference. And I'm going to set it on here so that I have about the same amount of drawer front overhanging the face frame at both ends. So this little distance here and this little distance here, I want it to be about the same. Okay. I'm going to make a mark up here on the top edge where the edge of my drawer front is. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to get it lined up where I want here, so I have about the same overhanging the face frame above and below. I'm going to make a mark where the upper edge of the drawer is. Okay, not the face frame. I'm marking where the upper edge of the drawer is. Okay, so with that mark I have, it tells me where the top edge of the drawer is. I'm going to set a sliding square to that pencil mark. And I'm just going to give myself a reference line along the back. Pop this out, get it out of the way. Okay. Now what I have is two lines of reference to place this on this box. I've got my mark here that I made that told me where the right edge of the drawer is. And I've got this line that tells me where the upper edge of the drawer is. So I'm going to line these up as best I can. Hold it in place. Get a little clamp on it. All right. So now what we do is we step back 10 feet or so and take a look and see how straight it looks. Okay. So it needs to raise a little bit on the right side. Okay. Maybe too much. That might do it right there. All right, that's pretty good. I'm going to take a nail gun. I actually have to change the nails. I want a little bit longer nails than I used in the drawer assembly. All right. So we're just going to take it out carefully, try not to move the drawer front. I'm going to set it with the drawer front overhanging the edge of the table. And I'm just going to shoot 2 nails in the back to temporarily hold that drawer front on. They will not hold that drawer front on permanently. You could literally just pull it off. In fact, if for some reason you needed to, if you slide this back in and you step back and you look at it and it's a little crooked, okay, what you can do, since I use longer nails in there, what you can actually do is take this, set it over the edge of the table, okay, where the drawer front's hanging off the table. You actually push on the corners and move this just a little bit, bend those nails a little bit to straighten it out, okay? You push too much, you're gonna pop it right off the nails. So I'm pretty happy with where that sits. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 2 screws. And with the drawer front on the table, in other words, all I have to do is take this screw. And the more pressure I put down on it, the tighter it's going to hold this drawer front to the front of the drawer itself. I'm going to drive these screws. And that's going to be it. All right. So, that's it. All right, there's a nightstand. It's got a nice little laser tree on the top. It's got a little CNC work down here in the bottom. That's all there is to making one of these nightstands. Okay. So that is done. Okay. Yeah, handles. There's a couple. There's a couple different options for handles. We can actually route a little relief on the underside or on the back side of the lower edge of it, so you can. It's like a finger pull. We can just put a drawer handle or drawer knob on there. We can do it at any time, or just leave it like that. You can still get it open. But yeah, there's other ways to. There's other things you can do for the drawer front, for the handle, stuff like that. And can you shoot double nails like on a staple gun? No, this is not a staple gun, so it's not U-shaped staples. This is an 18 gauge finish nailer, and it handles, I think, anywhere from maybe 1/2 inch long to 1.5 inch long nails, something like that. Just single nails at a time. So yeah, all right. So there's the nightstand. Now, what we're going to do, you ask, what are we going to do for the rest of the semester? You ask. Didn't you ask? You asked. I'm sure somebody asked. Okay. So, all right. So in my 2 beginning classes that I have right now, we did a nightstand in each class. There's a kind of a brown one and then the red one that you guys have in this one. In my intermediate woods class, they went through the plans and chose a project they wanted to see made, and that's this thing right here. So basically this is, let me go up a little bit. This is a drill press cabinet, and it's got some issues. It's not the greatest design in the world, but it gets the job done. So basically what it is, it consists of an upper cabinet in a lower cabinet with drawers. Okay, there's actually 3 more drawers that go in here. I just have to assemble them. And then there's these little cleats, these little guys here that are mounted all over the place in there. I can't see what you guys are seeing, so I gotta turn this real quick. That's gonna yank that right off, isn't it? Well, I got a cable at that run over. Okay, there we go. So basically there's these, this is called a French cleat. Okay, and this mounts to a wall. You can kind of see the angle on it, and then a matching one that whenever you're going to hang on it, just like that. Okay, so that's a French cleat. So that's what's mounted on the back here. So in other words, the plug cutters, you can just pull them off. There's a little French cleat on the back of it. You can place them back in anywhere you want. This guy should be right. This is our Forstner bits, and that is a snug fit. Come on. If you get it slightly angled, it doesn't want to go in. And that clips right there. We'll have some other cleats in here for other types of bits, but we haven't decided which bits we want inside the doors, so we haven't mounted those yet. The bits that they're in them will determine where we place those cleats. So then this thing will get bolted together, mounted to the wall over there. So that's what we're doing in first period. And that cabinet is basically done. We can't really do much more until we know for sure which bits we want to place in those other openings, okay? So that's pretty much done. Now, on the other hand, second period's project is, let me pull it up here so you can see it. Okay, and it takes a minute for this little thing to go away. Come on. They chose to have me make this, okay? So this is another tool cabinet. Most likely we'll put some of our nicer hand planes and chisels and things like that in it because it's not a huge cabinet, but it would definitely hold our good hand planes and chisels, marking gauges, things like that. The interesting thing about this project is this little handle here, you pull this down and it's a timbre door. It's like a roll top desk kind of door, okay? So you can kind of see, here's in the closed position here, okay? And then the open position. The timbre itself slides behind, this is a false back. This piece of ply right here is a false back, and the timbre ends up going behind it. I can show you maybe here. So this timbre ends up sliding behind this false back. I wonder if there's another, I don't know if there's another drawing or not, but the interesting thing about this project is that we set it up so that all these grooves for the timbre itself, these dados for the shelves, all these, the dado up here for the shelves, there's another one up here for the rail stop, things like that. We drew those up and did all those cuts on the CNC. For consistency between the two sides and accuracy, okay? So we've done all that. We've got all this done. And basically, the timbre probably is gonna get started later this week. What we're doing right now is the drawers, okay? These drawers have a lot of different things going on. It's called a locked rabbit, is the joiner that we use for this. And what we're working on right now is this decorative bead, okay? It's this little guy right here. This would be the front of the drawer, looking at it from the side, okay? And here's kind of what they look like when they're done. You can see these little decorative beads that go around the circumference of this thing, I guess you'd say. And these are mitered. These are 45-degree angles. It's like a picture frame at all the corners. So that's what we're getting ready to do next. So basically what they tell you to do is assemble this entire drawer and then cut a rabbet around the outside edges all the way around the front of the drawer. That's a 1/4 inch wide and a 1/4 inch deep. Okay, now once you've done that, and I'll show you what that looks like or what it's supposed to look like. We did a test run this morning on it. We do a lot of test runs on our cuts when it comes to projects like this. So here's our cabinet so far. All right. So let's see. I'm looking to see if there's any questions here. What are you going to do for the rest of the semester? That's kind of what we're talking about now. Clamp dresser. Let's make a chair or something. A cup. No, we're not going to do a cup. Okay, so this is our cabinet. All right, let me go down just a hair. Okay, so what it's telling us to do now, and this is the test cut we made this morning. And I just dropped my chair. So basically, this would be kind of like the drawer front. Okay, and it's got this little rabbet that runs all the way around the outside of it here. Okay, it's a 1/4 inch wide and it's a 1/4 inch deep. So basically this would sit kind of like that, right? And then that beadwork gets put on around it. Okay, so what we actually did today, what we were working on today, was fitting the drawers. And that's kind of when it's an inset drawer like this, it's kind of a challenge, because what you really have to have on drawers like this is an even gap all the way around. You can't have a wider gap here than over here, above than below. So we were doing all our hand plane work and getting these fitted. We've got acrylic slick tape. It's just really slick, it's not tape, that's stuck down here and then to the sides, that keep the drawer center in the opening and also give it a nice slide. I mean, they slide like butter. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is the trim around this. And then we're going to start working on the timbre. That's going to be probably the most challenging part that we have coming up. So you guys were asking what we're going to do the rest of the semester. We only have this week and next week, pretty much. The following week after that, I think you guys are here on Monday, but not Tuesday, or Monday and Tuesday. I know Wednesday's a holiday. That's the end of the quarter. So the last week, I want to make sure I leave time and have some time set aside for people that need to make up work, are behind or something like that, or need help with something. They missed a quiz, or they wanted to retake the quiz and try and get a better score or something like that. Whatever floats your outriggers. But we'll try and spend a little bit of time the last week making sure you guys have everything done and you get through with a decent grade in the class. But what we're going to do, since I'm running so low on time and I've got so much work to do to this, we're going to continue this work on this cabinet in our advanced and our beginning classes. So you guys will get to see the beadwork get done, the timbre, things like that. You'll have the timbre work. So we're just going to kind of follow this. This will give me a little more time to finish this during the classes, as opposed to first thing in the morning or at night or something like that, or on a weekend. So we should be able to finish this cabinet. I want to be able to finish it by the time we're out of here. So that's kind of what we're going to do. You guys are going to follow along from where we sit right now on the balance of this project. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Not saying that we may not do something else. I don't know. It depends on timing and how things run, and I don't know. It's Monday. I'm not thinking real clearly. Okay, so don't expect too much. But yeah, that's kind of what we're going to do. Finish out the quarter. I'm sad to say we won't be coming in next quarter. They've shut us down for next quarter. It's going to be the same old online stuff. So that's kind of the lot we've been given. Okay, so yeah, maybe that's a good idea, Kevin. I kind of like that idea. Not a bad idea, really. Trying to think. Actually, we could probably put it on the part right here that is the stop for the timbre. That might be the best place to put it, because these drawers might already be a little too tall for the laser. I'll have to look. That's a good idea. I like that. I like that a lot. Really cool. Good idea. Okay. Maybe we can even on the back of it. See, the back isn't mounted yet. This is that false back I was telling you about. The timbre itself, okay, gets fed into this large channel right here and then rolled up all the way to the front, and then a false back gets placed on it once the timbre's in place. may take all the names of the kids in second period and laser them on that false back somewhere along here. That'd be kind of neat. That's a good idea, Kevin. Thank you. I hadn't even thought of that. That's a fantastic idea, doing something like that. We'll do the same thing with those nightstands and everything. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. At least that's my plan right now. That could definitely change over the course of 5 minutes or 5 days, but that's what we're going to try and do. Okay, so you get to see a little bit of miter work, which is pretty interesting, and that's it. Okay, so that's going to be it for the day. Please make sure you get your name in the chat window for attendance. You guys take care of yourselves. Thank you for being here. Have a good evening tonight, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye, folks. Thank you, Sammy. You guys have a good day, too. See you, Noah. Kevin, thanks for the idea. Good idea.